and welcome to the He Doesn't Want It podcast, sponsored by Learners Are Us Driving School and Drumbo Park Racecourse. Today I am here with Gary Bell from Greenislands Football Club, also known as Dinger. Gary, how are you keeping, mate?
I'm keeping very well, Gary. Yourself?
Yes. Trying my best during this lockdown to keep active. Are you keeping the training levels up while you've been off?
I have, yes. We're actually still training at the minute. We're on this Strava that everyone's sort of been using. So we have actually the first, seconds, and thirds are all in a training Strava group. Myself and Stuart, well, mostly Stuart, has been keeping tabs on them. We've been setting them training levels, what to be doing on a Tuesday and a Thursday and a Saturday. And we've also put in like a strength and conditioning as well on it, like a recovery session as well on a Sunday and on a Monday for the boys. Now, to be honest, I haven't done too much of it myself. So I've got a few extras these last Tuesdays and Thursday nights. But to be fair, there's maybe about 54 boys in it, and I don't think it's dropped below 50, regarding attendance levels. So fair dues to the boys, they've been keeping up. And it's in a good way too, Gary. It keeps the mind active with the boys. It sets them a little challenge as well. They have to get up and go out if they want to get a tick, for training. Because we do at Green Island, we do an attendance record regarding training levels. So every Tuesday, Thursday night, it's a ticker and X, and then at the end of the month we usually do a percentage thing. So when they're down at training on a Thursday night, usually it's on the board for them every month, looking at their attendance records for training. So anything sort of below 90%, they get a wee kind of come in and see you a wee minute type of thing, I think it's in a way it's good standards as well to have, because yourself, Gary, as well at an amateur level, some boys just want to play on a Saturday, to be honest, and maybe turn up on Tuesday night because they feel like turning up for an hour and they want to see them again for another 2 weeks type of thing, So at Green Island, myself and Stuart, obviously grown up together playing at Ballyclare for such a long time, we've always had that standard between the two of us that we should be at training every night, because that's, if you want to play on Saturday, you need to train on a Tuesday and a Thursday night. And that's the way we've been doing it at Green Island since we've been down there. And I think the boys have sort of bit into it. It maybe took them the first year, to be honest, but I think they know the score now regarding you train or you don't play type of thing, And it has, I'll be honest, it has happened. Boys maybe haven't been about, maybe it doesn't matter where it's the first, seconds, or thirds, by the way. It's if you're sort of struggling to get the training on a Tuesday and a Thursday, you don't train maybe on a Tuesday or Thursday. Say you're a first team player, you're probably looking to be playing for the twos or threes on a Saturday, and it has happened, and the boys know that's the way it happens. And it's the same if you're thirds. If you're not there on a Tuesday and Thursday night, you're probably not going to be in any squads unless we're sort of struggling for players all week. But it hasn't happened regarding struggling for players at Green Island come the matches at the weekends,
Yeah, I feel amateur league football, you get a lot of excuses, a lot of good excuses. And I'm sick of telling our own players in our own club that the teams which usually gather the most success and are the teams that gain promotion from junior football into intermediate football are those that set the standards of an intermediate club. So the likes of yourselves, you have strict, not strict, I consider them to be fair players, because some players consider them to be strict, but you have standards there that players are expected to meet. And if the players meet those standards, then they play on a Saturday. And quite normally what happens then, if you meet those standards, you get success on the pitch. Because if you drop your standards, then that's when the usual success in the pitch starts to drop as well. It's something which is, from my time in junior football, and I've been a forward a long time, what you find is 15, 20 years ago when I was a kid watching the sidelines, I remember the dedication of the players was constantly there, Tuesdays, Thursdays. You never dared miss a training session. Whereas now a lot of players are starting to drop off. So it's interesting to see what you do with the attendance, because it's there for everybody to see. And what you can find as well then is you get more players being accountable to their teammates by doing that as well. It's good for you to do that, and then as well keeping training now during the fact that we're in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic. We do not know when we'll be back playing football, but we do live in hope that everything starts to clear up and becomes safe to play come our normal resumption at the start of season, August, September. So you're basically starting your pre-season early, so it's good to hear.
Yeah, well, as I say, hopefully this is sort of carrying on from the season that sort of stopped there. We usually stop sort of towards the end of May regarding the end of the season. So we thought we would keep that going, you know. So if next week's maybe our last week, you know, training wise, and the boys will, you know, get sort of mid-July till mid-July they'll get off, you know. Just as well, we'll do it, Gary, come the end of the season then we'll have their training stats which we look at, and when we'll have the one-to-one with them, it's something to put towards them to say, look, you've only been here 80%, you probably need to pick it up a little bit, you know. But to say the standard, you know, of attendance has been exceptional regarding being an amateur league squad. You know, I've seen worse attendances at Irish league clubs. So I have that people, you know, just don't weigh in, obviously, type of thing. But credit to the boys, they've been exceptional regarding their attendance, especially the 4 or 5 years that I've been at Greenisland, you know. And that's the standard that was probably set in stone whenever Gilsey was the manager of the senior squad before Security and myself had taken over the role. So it was nice that that was set in place for us regarding having that type of level for us to go straight in with, you know, because I do you know, having been at Northdale when I had played amateur league football, whenever obviously I had the bad leg break, you know, even I sort of found the first team, you know, the attendance levels were perfect, but sort of when you dipped into the twos, they maybe weren't there as much maybe on a Tuesday and a Thursday night. You maybe only would have seen some of them on a Saturday, you know. So credit to Greenisland, in my opinion, they deserve a lot of credit themselves there for keeping their attendances sort of above the 90% mark, you know.
So the hard work that's been put in over the last 4 or 5 years, this year, it got us in the intermediate football. He's gained promotion from 2A into 1C last year. How do you feel this season has went so far? I was looking at your league table earlier. You were fighting for second place, which would have been promotion between yourselves and St Oliver Plunkett. There was 3 games left, but there was that 7-point difference between yourself and St Oliver Plunkett, whereas they had 2 games in hand. They would have 5 games left, so it was looking tight. How did you feel the season as a whole, the league season went in 1C this year? How did you find the transition as well from 2A into 1C?
To be honest, Gary, I actually thought maybe 2A was a little bit harder, to be truthful. Having spent 3 years playing in it with them, and that's me being truthful. 1C, you know, I'm not going to lie and say it hasn't been difficult. It has been difficult. But I look at where we are in the league and how we've went. You know, I think, was it 117 drew 2, lost 2. You know, for our first year in 1C as an intermediate sort of team, it isn't a bad return from us. You know, obviously Plunkett still, I think if they had 1 or 2 games that played that they had ahead of, I think they had 7 maybe left or something like that there. So they could have been level in points. I think near sure, if I can remember the way the fixtures had come out, we were actually to play each other in the last game of the season. So it could have been a lot tighter than I could have, that people maybe thought it was going to be, you know. So in all, you know, it was a good season on our behalf, you know. On a good point of view as well, we had the Irish Cup run, which was the first time that in the Irish Cup, getting beaten in the 3rd round by Crumlin Star away. And to be fair, I thought we held our own that day. You know, I think it was 1-0, so it was. They probably had a bit more of the ball that day than we usually do, because we're a type of team that likes to play good football. But on all, it was a good game. So in our first season, in my opinion, I think we've had a decent one. I think Stuart would maybe say the same to the boys. It's just a pity the way it has ended, because it was all making up for a good run in towards the end of the season, especially if that last game against Plunkett away was the decider to see who was going to go up or not for the second place. And as I say, I'm near sure maybe someone told me that maybe their manager had maybe left as well, Gary. I'm not sure why you heard that or stepped down. Did you hear that yourself? Someone told me that, but I wasn't sure if it was right or not.
No, to be honest, I hadn't heard anything at all in regards to that. It would be one of our local rivals, but I hadn't heard anything at all about that. It may have just been rumours, but in terms of the league season, what used to find with 1C, it used to be a weaker league, a lot weaker than 2A. And people used to say if you won 2A, got promoted from 2A, you were pretty much guaranteed to go up. But then that trend that seemed to stop once Rosemount, Woodfield and Suffolk originally went up, which would have been 2 or 3 years ago, which meant by the time yourselves and Scarborough Plunkett were promoted this year, you had teams which would have been really strong in 2A, the likes of Suffolk, Woodfield and Rosemount still there. Rosemount obviously went on to win the league. And you had other strong teams there as well. Teams are starting to actually strengthen a lot more in 1C. So it seems a lot more competitive now than it ever has been. So to go in and win 17 games in your first season in 1C was very impressive. Step up from 2A to 1C. In terms of the cup run, before you met Crumlin Star, you beat Albert Foundry 2-0. It was the club's first ever Irish Cup game at home as well. It must have been Sunday, was it?
It was a good day, to be fair. They actually played us the week before in a cup up at Foundry, and they beat us. I think it was 3-0, so it was. And then the Irish Cup game was the week after. I'll be honest, probably the Irish Cup game meant more to us than the one before that they put us out in. So it was a good day, to be honest. Good for the club to get some recognition of being in the Irish Cup. It would have been nice maybe to try and creep into the fourth round. But Crumlin Star have, the best amateur league team, and they have been probably for the last 10 years easily that I've known. And good outfit, some good players, probably players there that could easily go and play and make their mark in the Irish League. So no, that day against Foundry, and you had the likes of Rainey, obviously, who's the manager of Foundry now, who's I actually me and Davey with up at Ballyclare when I was 16. So he actually was playing. It was quite strange. I was marking him, and I actually played centre half that day, and he was playing as well. But for all in all for Green Island, it was nice to get them in the first year going to the third round. Hopefully, can maybe go in R1 next year, Gary, and maybe get a wee championship team. Maybe get Ballyclare,
Good. Crumlin Star obviously had an Instagram with yourselves because a few years ago you shocked them in the Clarence Cup, if I remember correctly. You just had a good win against them in the Clarence Cup a few years ago, didn't you? Yeah.
I did. You wouldn't know the score, would you, Gary? Because I'm telling you, see.
I think it may have been 1-0 after extra time. Now, if I know your club better than you.
1-0 after extra time. I can't really remember that, Gary. That's me being truthful. No, I can't remember. And you said it was Clarence extra time.
I may be wrong, but it just stuck out in my head there. I remember, and it would have been maybe 3 seasons ago. It wouldn't have been last year, maybe the year before. But I could be wrong, so it could.
I'm surprised you don't remember, because I was probably playing in it, and it was probably turning after the security going, I can't believe this went in extra time. I'm wrecked.
So obviously things at the moment were going well with Green Islands up until the end of the season there. The Amateur League has null and voided the year. In terms of that, what's your personal opinion on the season being considered null and void as it is at the moment?
I think it's fair and right that Rosemount were made champions at the end of the day. Regardless if they finished their season or hadn't finished their season, if we couldn't have caught them and they still had 2 games to play, I still think it was right that they deserved to be champions and named champions. My sort of downside of it is, Gary, I look at the other leagues, Premier 1A, B, 1C, especially even like yourselves, 2A, B, C, and the rest of the twos leagues. There's teams there that deserve to be champions, and naming one team a champion and not looking at the other teams in the other leagues, I find it a bit difficult to understand why they've done that side of it, you know. But you know, in hindsight, I definitely do agree that Rosemount, you know, they deserve to go up and they deserve to be champions.
What I've seen is there was obviously an option given out to the amateur league teams. It was option A, consider the season null and void, or option B was try and play the season if possible. What you're starting to find now in other leagues, I think it was the Fermanagh and Western League and the Korean District League, they're actually giving their teams the options of, do you want to finish the season based on a points per game average, with promotion and relegation, or there was an option in one of the leagues which said promotion, no relegation, which seemed to win. I can't remember actually what league it was. There may still be an opportunity for the amateur league to come back to clubs and do that. Could you see that happening in any way?
I think it was maybe the Down League guy, was it, that done the Down League that done that as well, regarding points per game ratio type of thing. I think it's in my opinion, the best way to do it, to see the season out, because if you're going to make one team champions and not have any relegations in any other champions in any other leagues, then you voided the season in my eye, you know, which hadn't really been talked about type of thing. So it's maybe an option for them to look at. Maybe they've went too early on it, you know, regarding there, where sort of now, as you say, the likes of the Fermanagh leagues, I think maybe the Ballymena leagues have done it too. I'm not sure about the Ballymena Saturday morning league now, but the one the thirds have in, they've done the points per game ratio as well. They're doing it in that. It makes sense, so it does. But I must give them credit that I think it's the right decision not to be playing any more games until this virus is completely away and everyone has made, you know, it is safe to back onto the pitch together and play. So I do agree that it's the right decision, that it is. There's no more games played.
Yeah, safety has to be a prerogative for everybody, and what you're probably going to find is that even next season, the start of next season, may even be affected, or a period during next season may be affected, if not the start. So I think it would have been really optimistic for the amount of games that need to be played in amateur league to be completed in any sort of time frame, and we don't know when that would even have been anyway. So it would have been tough in regards to that. So it would have. What I want to do now is bring our listeners back to the start of your career. For anybody that doesn't know you, we spoke about your time at Greenisland. Where was it you started your career overall? Youth days, senior teams, what brought you to where you are now?
It's quite funny, Gary, because there's nobody in my house likes football, not one person. And even maybe someone going to watch me on a Saturday, if there was the likes of maybe a cup final or something, I never asked anyone to ever come because I knew they never liked football. So it sort of annoyed me when they came to watch me in a final, maybe, or in a semi-final. I used to go, well, why are you not here on a Saturday when maybe I'm away somewhere and it's licensed playing football type of thing, you know what I mean? So I ended up getting into football when I was I moved to Glengarmley area when I was about 12 or so. I went to a thing called Community Coach.
Yeah.
It was actually probably one of my best times as a kid growing up. I used to laugh at it. I used to have Big Gary Campbell, who's unfortunately not with us anymore. He was actually the manager of Mosley for a good part of his career now after Community Coach. And then we had Wendy, who were a good combination, so they were. And then we had this big man called Davey. And he used to, this is the truth, Gary, we used to meet at the Folly Park, 9 o'clock every Saturday. And he used to come in the red van. He used to fix cookers. So he used to say, right, he used to open the back doors and he's getting lads, and you'd have been going maybe up to Mollusk or playing Celtic boys or something like that there away. He used to be sitting on top of a cooker or an old spare tire. And And see how many times that the van broke down and he used to get us all out to push. I am telling you. I speak to Wendy about it all the time. Like, you would never get away with that nowadays, But no, come on, coach days, and then obviously, I just come up running out of time there. So, and I come up, so obviously Ballyclare being close to me, I joined there, so it did, under Geordie Falloon and James E. Kirk, who are great friends to me now outside of football as well, so they are. And I stayed there the majority part of my career, and then James had sort of left and we went to Northtail. And I went to Larne. I was at Larne then for a year and a half under Kenny Shields.
Yeah.
And I had to go to Welders and loan for a month. It was in December. I don't know why he ever sent me down there on loan, like, to be totally honest, because he only played one game at the Welders. Right. And then I was back at Larne for a year and a half, and then sort of getting a bit. It's when the old Joe carriageway was never there, so the old drive down to Larne was at a took 45 minutes, So I went back to Ballyclare, and then James, he left, and I followed him down to Northtail. Unfortunately, that's where I sort of had my bad break, So it is. Stayed there for a little bit, and then he sort of wrapped it up, and I sort of walked away from footballing after that for a little bit, But the chance came to sort of get in the coaching side of it with Eddie Hill as assistant manager at Ballyclare. So it was me, him, and Sturdy then that took the reins over there for 4 years, 4 very enjoyable years. So it was, not going to Ballymallard like on a Tuesday night wasn't the enjoyable bit of it, or Derbyview. And then obviously that Eddie decided to step away and sort of myself and Sturdy, and James, he was up at the PSNI, and it was about 33 at the time, Gary, so it was, and I decided, I wonder if Jamesy maybe let me go up and train with the PSNI, So Jamesy being Jamesy, he's a good fella. He let me come up and train. I sort of got itchy feet from then, and I remember saying to the wife, because I was always saying to myself I'd never play football again after what happened, So it was 5 years out of the game, and I said, "Flip, I think I can play again, your love." And she was like, "Yeah, you're not playing. You need insurance and such and such." So, being the type of fella I am, I went and got my own insurance carry, and I said to James, "I could see out the rest of the season with you, so maybe try and get a couple of minutes." He says, "Yeah, no problem." I went up to Tobermore, I remember. I got about an hour, and I remember the first kick I got on it, Gary, the blood just straight down the face. But I must have said, well, I think we won 2-0 that day, but just seeing being in amongst as a player, in amongst a group of players, it's different than the management side of it, You don't get the fun out of it. Yes, it's nice when you win as a manager, and but when you're a player, it's double the bonus to be truthful, So thoroughly enjoyed it. And then James, he sort of, I can't remember why he stepped down or not, Gary, to be honest. I think he maybe had stepped down, so I was sort of in limbo of what to do to myself, and I still kind of, it was obviously Sturdy, we were Ballyclare all our days, He says, "Why don't you come down to Green Island?" And I was like, "Green Island? This is the truth." I said, "Has Green Island got a senior team?" And he goes, yeah. Sturdy's connection there was, he played for them when he was in his teens, so he grew up through the Green Island ranks, He says, "Right, okay." I haven't spoke to the wife regarding this yet, like, to be totally honest. And I says, "I'll come down, but you need to get me their address, mate." And I says, "Because I haven't a clue where they are." He says, "Just right in the middle of the estate." I said, "Sturdy, I don't know where the estate is." He goes, "Right, okay." So he gave me the postcode, and I went down one Tuesday night. And I remember it was Lyshin. But you just know when you get a feel for somewhere, Gary, and as soon as I went down, I went, "Yeah, I'll have a bit of this, Sturdy. I like it." Sturdy's a bit like myself. Well, he's the bad cop, I'd be the good cop, but as I say, has standards. And I looked around the place and I went, "Yeah, I like this." So told the wife, I went down to be Sturdy's assistant here. He'd asked me, and about 6 months later, I said, "Sturdy, I think I could maybe play here, So next minute was on form, and 91 appearances later for Green Island, and I must admit, very enjoyable. So that's where I am at the minute, and I'll probably let you in. Well, it was a little secret until yesterday, Gary. So it was. I just had to let the boys know first. I've decided to retire. So that's hang the boot. So them 91 games really meant a lot to me because I never thought I would ever get back playing again. And four very enjoyable years playing. I'm still staying at Green Island, like,
Yeah.
still to keep them right, maybe, you know. I told the boys I'll always be on their side because Sturdy can be a bad one, you know, a bad cop, and I have to say, like, you need to relax here a little bit. So I think the boys maybe realise I'm the good cop, you know. But I think it's right. I think it's right what I'm doing now. Like, I'm 40 here in September. I was going to try and make 40, but obviously the way this pandemic's been going on, I'm not sure the league will maybe start before September, you know. I hope it does. So I do, but so there you go. Just I've hung them up, so I have.
It's one of the things I was actually thinking about asking you later. Sorry, was do you think this COVID-19 pandemic could probably bring you into a slightly earlier retirement? But you've already made that decision, so making the decision now, you know, that's me, I'm done. But you've had some career there and a lot of success along the way, and playing some really good clubs and playing at a high standard as well. And you've obviously got personal standards that you've always stuck to in your footballing career, and it's probably been the main thing. It's seen you do well. Playing at Ballyclare, PSNI, your time at Larne, Welders. A lot of good clubs there and a lot of success. The leg break you had, I know personally that you broke your leg, and we've spoke about it already. It's for anybody that's listening. What was it? What happened that day? How did you break your leg, and what was the damage to your leg?
I can just remember it was against Grove. I think we're winning. We were actually pushing for promotion that year, 1A. It was coming down to the old Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday game. You know, I remember well. It was the night before my mum's surprise 50th birthday.
Right.
I think it was a Thursday night game then, and we were playing Grove. I think I remember breaking away from the corner, obviously, and then obviously the leg break sort of happened. You know, being told, the wife always says to me, "Can you remember being told such and such?" And I was like, no. But being told you probably wouldn't play again sort of more annoyed me than anything. And always deep down, I hate people telling me that I can't do something. So obviously I broke the tib and the fib, so I did. And I had the cage on for sort of 7-8 months. But the support that Nortel had shown me and given me through that time was remarkable. And it's something I'll never forget from them, Gary, to be truthful. You sort of realise, you know, sometimes it's not all about football. There's different things happening outside of football, and that was probably one of them. So how the boys and the committee and the management staff, the teams he had down there who looked after me throughout that year, will never be forgot by me, to be totally honest. Because it was actually, I think I got the cage off maybe October, I think it was, and me and the wife were going away to Australia in December. So obviously being out of work, no income coming in, you know, it was quite difficult that side. And I think that's why the wife would maybe, and I can't blame her, to be totally honest, of going down the road if I wanted to go back and play again, that I would need to be insured. And I can understand that, you know, so I do.
It's the perils of what we do, our love of the game, really, that you could suffer a bad injury, and then a lot of people are in work situations where you're out of work, then you're out of pocket, and it's the risk we take. And once you've had a break, it's obviously you were out of the game for 5 years. It can be one of those. It's more than a question of, am I physically capable of going back? It's, will my wife let me go back? Really, so
that's definitely the question. It's how do I tell the wife this type of thing? You know, I was nearly getting James E. Kirk the ringer, you know, and say, "Can Dinger come back and play for me?" Just but getting back playing, I'll never forget it. I loved it. And as I say, for all that I spent at PSNI for the 6 months, just to get back at Championship Irish League level was was a massive bonus. You know, I never thought I would go back at that level. And then, as I say, I never thought I would ever play after I left them type of thing when Sturdy asked me to be assistant, because it was never in my mind to play amateur league football again, obviously because of the injury. And then I sort of looked at the league in 2A and went, you know what, this action, which way could I describe it, guy? I wouldn't say it wouldn't be as physical as 1A. 1A was a real physical league, so it was. But watching 2A, it just wasn't as physical, or, you know, it was still competitive. I'm not going to say it wasn't, but the roughness and that wasn't sort of there. And I went, Sturdy, you know what, I think I would enjoy playing in this league here, you know. And don't get me wrong, 1C isn't like that as well, Gary. You know, we all have our competitive side, and, you know, if I didn't still have that, then I wouldn't play, you know. So, but it was nice to put the boots back on again, especially for 4.5 years that I never thought that I would do again, type of thing. People say, someone actually said to me the other day, well, most players usually retire dinger in and around about 35. He says, so you're 39, so you've got them 4 or 5 years back of what people were retiring. And I thought it was a good way of looking at it and going, you know what, you're correct there.
Yeah, that's a really good way of looking at it. You've those 5 years you lost, you've now got back in your twilight years, especially the success you've had at Green Island. I'll always never forget the time one of our players, Finty Adams, broke his leg playing yourselves up at Green Island. And you rang me the next day to ask how he was, and I know the player really appreciated that, and we as a club really appreciated it. In fact, we appreciated everything Green Island done for the player on the day, that really looked after him and really made sure that there was a level of concern there. And for somebody like yourself who's been through that, and you can tell what somebody's going through, I could tell when you rang that there was a genuine level of care there when yourself and the club tried to make sure after the event that the player was fine and how was he going forward, would he ever play again, etc. Thankfully he has got back playing, and this year he did play first team football, but it goes to show what it can do to somebody when you've been through that yourself.
Oh, 100%, Gary. It's good to hear that he got back to get playing there. You know, that made me smile a little bit. So it did, to be truthful. I remember the day. I actually remember him sitting at the entrance. I think the Pink Ladies had him wrapped up in much cotton wool. I thought they were going to take him home. So it did. No, when something like that happens in football now, Gary, you know, obviously having been in that situation, it's you have to give respect back. You know what I mean? Nobody likes to see it happening at all. You know, we've had it actually twice at training. You know, on my collarbone, and I think maybe one was in our ankle, and you know, you don't like seeing that. And the support, as I said too, that Nortel had shown me towards of what happened to me that time, has learned me to give it back in a way that people need your support. You know what I mean? You got to do these things financially. You know, it can really hit people in the pocket, especially on amateur league level. You know, where people maybe, I'd say 95% of the boys don't have the insurance protection, you know, against them. So it's not nice. So it isn't, you know, hearing things like that happening. So it's important, you know. I think that's where closeness in football brings everyone together. When something like that happens, that you all stick together as a group, and it's not just Green Island, it's not just Ford. It's always as a group that day who was playing. You all stick together and support the person to get him back on his feet financially, most importantly, and then secondly, I'm sure they'll be hungry enough, like myself, to come back and play. So it's very fitting to hear that he got back playing this season.
Yeah, football should always be a family, so it should, is my thinking as well. So it was great at the time to see what yourself and what the club done. Going back to your playing career before you reached Green Island, during those times that you were at other clubs, what trophies did you win? What achievements did you have in those times? None, honestly.
You know what, Gary? It's something I never. Well, got promoted with Ballyclare from a Championship 2, Championship 1 under James E. Kirk. The actual year, the yearbook my leg at Northtail. I think it was maybe 12 games that year, and credit to the boys. I don't know how they'd done it. There was 3 games a week for about 4 weeks in a row. We got promoted from 1A, which was very fitting, and I'll never forget that. You know, I'll never forget the last day. I'm not sure it was a game against Downshire. I was, because obviously I was captain at Northtail, I walked out on the pitch with my cage and my crutches on, and both teams gave me that little clap on, and I'll never forget that moment. So, you know, that's more than a trophy to me. So it is.
Yeah, you've had a couple of losses in finals as well during the time, haven't you? You've won it. Two guys, actually, extra-mile Village players, wanted to remind me today about your loss to them in the Border Cup, and then of course you did the Junior Cup final as well with Greenislands.
Yeah. Also had Steensun's Cup final, beat against Dundee 2-0. So we did. The Junior Cup one probably hurts more at the moment because it's so fresh in the memory. It probably would have been Greenislands' first trophy for the seniors, for the first team. I think it was one of them ones, Gary, we always say, we give so much in the semi-final that night, the Hawker, against the Hawker at Seaview. I think we maybe left a bit of it on the pitch there that night, to be totally honest. And obviously in a Skilling, then beating us in the final, which was hard to sort of take, to be truthful, you know. But that's, and I've always said, security, we need a trophy here. And it's now 5 years, and it's itching me ever more to get that. So it is.
Well, you may not have had a trophy, but within those times, you got the club promoted to 2A, didn't you? And then just they've had the promotion to 1C. There may not be medals at the end of it, but you've brought the club to where it is, and even that experience as a club with a Junior Cup final, I'm sure all the club being behind it was some experience for everybody involved.
Oh, it was a great day. Do not get me wrong. What the club done for us that day was fantastic. You know, the spoil was rotten that day, to be truthful. It was just disappointing that we never brought it home for them. But as I say, the good old saying goes, Gary, nobody remembers losers. You know, nobody remembers seconds. And that's my mentality still. You know. So hopefully, the first team, the first trophy is not too far away.
What would you consider your best moment in football to date, playing or coaching?
Coaching would probably be getting Ballyclare promoted with Eddie and Sturdy. Championship 2, Championship 1 would probably be my coaching. Playing, because it's so fresh, as I said, for me playing, because I didn't think I would get back playing, is probably scoring the winning penalty at Seaview for Greenisland against the Hawk in the semi-finals of the Junior Cup, and getting player of the match.
Yeah, I was at that game, so I was as well. The Hawkle was I actually remember your winning penalty, so I do. Your celebration wasn't that far, but you didn't run too far after. I think you were busted after extra time.
No, I'll never. My knees were cut off me for about 3-4 weeks. You know, when the skin goes in the knees, guy. And I'll never forget it. I remember going after the game, just sitting in the changing room, knees soaking with the skin burnt off them, and going up to McDonald's up at just up beside Asda there on the Shore Road. And as I pulled in, the three referees came out, and their assistants came out of McDonald's, and I said, "Any chance you'd ban me McDonald's, lads?"
During your career, who do you think the best player you've played with during your time?
I've played with quite a few. I've played with some good lads in Larne. I had Gary McCutcheons, Mark Dixon. You've played Chrissy Lindsay. who's manager Dungannon now. Probably I think a lot of people would say that it's probably Michael Smith when I was at Ballyclare. Seeing him coming in from being a 17-year-old to where he is now. You could see he had what it took to go further ahead, and he's reaping his rewards where he is now at the minute of the Hearts. So it would probably be Michael Smith.
Yeah, good player. And who would be your toughest opponent you've came across, either team or individual?
Toughest? So, I'm going to probably say Dundela.
Right.
Always it was a tough game. Always, while it was home or away. I'm actually good mates with him now because I've done my B license with him 2 summers ago. Gary Walker, fullback, right back he was. I used to play left midfield, and we used to kick lumps out of each other, 2 of us. But it was always a tight game because the hen runs so narrow and so tight. I hated going there. And obviously the beating us that day in the Steensunds Cup final. I'm going to say Dundela.
Yeah, Dundela. That obviously the Steensunds game, and then you had a lot of history there as well with him. In terms of going forward, you've retired now. So now that you're retired, you're still with Green Island. What's your aspirations going forward as a coach now?
My aspirations, as well as I said to you earlier, definitely win on a trophy for the first. There's more there than anything now. I look around Green Island and what the coaches and how they apply themselves with the munchkins right up to the senior side. Especially the coach we have at the minute there, Colin Sewell, who takes us, who's sort of under the wings of Roy Walker at Ballymena, and how he goes about coming across things, how he plans sessions out. I look at that from my days at Ballyclare when me and Sturdy and Eddie had coached, and how to make myself better, but from then until sort of how they all coach at Green Island. So I can't see, and I'll be totally honest, I can't see myself going away from Green Island for a very long time, because it's a club that has standards that mean a lot to me, and how they approach things, how to coach. Sorry, guy, it was me. On how to coach, and hopefully one day I'm as good as how Colin Sewell comes across in coaching.
Yeah.
Be like me.
Obviously this year, if the season has finished, so it looks like next year you're going to resume the battle with St Albert Plunkett. It would be then you'd be aiming for the title of 1C. Last year in 2A, for a long time you looked like runaway leaders before St Albert Plunkett caught up with us, and a couple of games at the end of the season where you were defeated by St Albert Plunkett, handed the title to them. This year, you would have been looking forward to maybe avenging that and gaining promotion if you were due to play them at the end of the season. So next season, they would be, of course, a big rival. Do you see anybody else within 1C as being your competition for the 1C title?
Plunkett will always be up there. They're a sort of club on our level of where they are on the field type of thing. That's why I was quite surprised when I heard that their manager maybe stepped aside, I think maybe if Woodfield would maybe agreed, if maybe had a poor season, I was expecting them to be up closer to us. So I was. But I would like to think we always sort of look, as long as you're in the mix, and into the last sort of 8 games of the season, top 3, top 4, you're in with a chance. As you said rightly, Gary, last year Plunkett coming back, they had so many games in hand to catch up on us, and we probably threw it away ourselves, to be truthful, but have to have the points on board. So you do. This year we do have the points on board, which was probably a plus factor this year compared to 2A, where we didn't have the points on board, but we still had to play to get the points on board. So this year that was probably the positive side of it, where we already had the points on board going into the last 3 games this season. So it was probably the shoe was in our foot then for Plunkett, because they were in the situation we were in the year before in 2A, where we had to win the games to catch them, but this year they had to sort of win their games to catch us.
Yeah. Well, my last question for you. Somebody actually asked me this on Twitter to start doing this. So the podcast itself is called He Doesn't Want It, after something that we all hear regularly on a Saturday across all levels of football. The reason why I called it He Doesn't Want It is because it's actually something I hate hearing. But what sayings do you remember from your time playing or coaching that you either love to hear on a football pitch or you hate to hear on a football pitch?
Let me see. I like when the crowd give you a bit of banter, because I'm the type of fella that gives it back.
Yeah.
Maybe Sturdy and Colin wouldn't agree that you should be giving any banter back. You should be concentrating on the game. But I always think it's nice that you can turn around and have a little chirp back to them within reason, but it's always nice when they give you a good bit of stick, and then within about 5 minutes you go up and score, whether it's you or just one of your teammates, and you just turn around and just give them the wee wink of should have kept your mouth shut, mate, eh?
Brilliant. Mate, thank you very much for giving up your time to do this. Obviously, you've had a good career, and you've now finished playing, and I wish you every success in the future in your coaching, yourself and Sturdy. Anytime myself came across Greenislands and yourselves, I always thought it was to be very professional, and genuinely wish us all success in the future.
Thanks very much, Guy, for your words, mate. All the best regarding your podcast, and He Doesn't Want It. I sort of looked at it earlier and said, I actually know why he said that, or named it that, So, well, thanks for your words. Mostly enjoyable, Gary, and say take care, and hopefully I'll see you soon, mate.
Okay. Well, thanks very much to anybody listening, and our sponsors, Learners Ross Driving School and Drumbo Park Racecourse. And we will be back with another interview next week. I hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you.